Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam, and The Accountant is better than you remember. This movie was released in 2016. It was directed by Gavin O'Connor, who previously had directed movies like Miracle and Warrior, and would go on to direct Ben Affleck again in The Way Back, still my favorite movie of 2020. And the movie stars the aforementioned Ben Affleck, as well as Anna Kendrick, J.K. Simmons, and Jon Bernthal, among others. It tells the story of, well, an accountant named Christian Wolff, played by Ben Affleck. He is, well, like I said, an accountant, but he's the kind of accountant where, let's just say if you're running a pretty illegal operation and you need your books looked at, you don't call the regular CPA down the block, you call Christian Wolff. As J.K. Simmons' character describes in the movie, his job is basically to come in cold, uncook years of books, and escape without a trace. But Christian Wolff is not your average man. He is on the autism spectrum. He has very high-functioning autism, and basically was brought up by his father in the military, and basically taught how to survive, and to use that weakness, if you want to call it, as a strength. But when Wolff gets hired on to uncook the books of a robotics company that is about to go public, he discovers something on the down low that even he has to acknowledge is not good, and he eventually becomes a target. I did not watch The Accountant in the theaters. I ended up watching it for the first time on an airplane. In 2018, I traveled to Germany as part of an alumni trip. I was asked to, because I was doing some videography on the side, I was asked to shoot an alumni trip for my college. And so I was like, trip to Germany? Yeah, that sounds great. But my connecting flight from Orlando to Germany was to stop in Philadelphia. The flight from Orlando to Philadelphia went great, but the flight from Philadelphia to Germany did not go so well. To make a long story short, due to weather, we were stuck on the tarmac for 2.5 hours. And I'm very much a stickler when it comes to my travel. I need to know, well, obviously where I'm going, but also how long it takes, what route I'm taking, and if there's any delays, then I just start to kind of freak out about it. And I was literally on the tarmac, and I was just like, oh god, I'm going to miss my deadline, the trip's going to go on without me. I was just freaking out. So I do what I always do when I start to kind of lose my stuff. I turn on a movie, and The Accountant was on... they have too many in-flight movies now, but The Accountant was one of them. I had never seen it, and so I was like, let's try that. And I immediately felt better. When I got back, I bought this Blu-ray, and I watch it... I try to watch it at least once a year, because this is a movie that I genuinely love, and I feel like nobody talks about it. This movie is definitely a Ben Affleck movie. I feel like people kind of dumped on Affleck, especially in the 2000s when he was doing movies like Jersey Girl and Geely. I mean, yeah, those are obviously bad movies. However, if you give him something good, then he is quite a good actor. And this was in the middle of his Batfleck phase and that whole thing, and he turned in a great performance here. I read in one Letterboxd review that this character was called Bad Will Hunting, and yeah, that made me laugh a little too hard. I really am not sure what the history of portraying autism is in movies. I'm sure there is a history or an online article somewhere on it, but I have a feeling that this has got to be among one of the better portrayals of autism in a movie, at least from my history. One of the first scenes of the movie is Christian's parents meeting with this psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist is like, why don't you leave him with me? I will teach him various ways how to pick up nonverbal cues and social circumstances and such. And Christian's dad is like, that ain't happening. I'm gonna teach him stuff. And he instills in Christian a very hard-nosed lifestyle. It's almost like he had to make Christian double tough because the world was going to be double tough on him. This movie utilizes flashbacks quite a bit, and there's definitely a couple of exposition dumps, I can speak, that are very noticeable. However, I think the movie's pacing is done very well, and it establishes context for why Christian does the things that he does quite well. There's a great scene where Christian and Anna Kendrick's character are talking in this hotel, and Christian says something along the lines of, "I wish I could socialize with people a lot more. I feel like I'm here and everyone else is there." And it's done very well because the movie does a good job of showing that despite the fact that Christian has a trouble saying his good intentions, he does it with his actions. I won't spoil it here, but let's just say Christian Wolff is a good person. He does very bad things, but he does them for the right reasons. It all makes sense when you actually see it. And speaking of Anna Kendrick, she is actually really good in the movie too. She is actually not in it all that much, but when she is there, she is quite good. J.K. Simmons' role is pretty brief, but he does a great job as well. He has a special connection to this accountant. Again, no spoilers, but the movie does a good job of establishing that this character is not necessarily great at his job. He's had some help. There's another Treasury agent played by, and I'm gonna try and pronounce this right, Cynthia Addai Robinson. I probably butchered that, and I'm sorry. But she played Amanda Waller in the Arrow series, and it took me a while researching this video to remember where she was from, because her face looked so familiar, and then I was like, oh yeah, she was Amanda Waller in the Arrow show. I kind of stopped watching after season 5 or 6. And like I said earlier, what I love about the movie is that it does a great job of showing that Christian Wolff is not inherently a bad person. It just, he has good in his heart, he just has a hard time showing it. So he does it by doing good. One of the earliest scenes in the movie is when he's helping this couple with their taxes. They're about to be audited. And in his way, he's like, "So, you have this side business, you say?" And the woman's like, "It's something I like to do on the side." And he's kind of making her go on to say that if you have a side business, then the IRS will be a little more forgiving toward you. And he does like stuff like this to be like, "What's your value worth again?" It's legally he can't do that, but he bends the rules to help this couple. I like that. I like the spirit of that. And kind of out of order, the movie does a good job of telling Christian Wolff's life story, his relationship with his parents, his brother, later played by Jon Bernthal, and how Christian Wolff basically was turned into a hard-hearted person because the world was going to treat him with the same hard heart. It really is a shame that this movie has gone under the radar, especially considering that Ben Affleck was a Batman around this same time, and call it negative press, but there was a lot of buzz around Ben Affleck. So if you have not seen The Accountant, I do highly recommend it. Last I checked, it was moved off of HBO Max, but if you poke around long enough, I imagine you will find it. But that is all for me. Thank you so much as always for watching. Next week on these Sunday videos, I'm going to be doing a bit of a rewatch, and it's going to be all about Alfonso Cuarón's Children of Men. But if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video, you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.